Welcome to LOQation, Cabrini College's weekly news program. I'm Nicole Capizzi.
And I'm Sarah Zarnomsky. Here's your news now.
Halloween may have passed, but there's one final chance this season to scare yourself silly. Eastern State Penitentiary's iconic and award-winning haunted house, Terror Behind the Walls, wraps its 2013 season with one final show this Saturday, November 9th. For more information, visit www.easternstate.org/Halloween. This Friday, November 8th, Cabrini's Capward is offering transportation and a fun-filled night of glow bowling at Devon Lane's Bowling Alley. The event starts at 8:30. If interested, tickets are available for $5 in the seal office. Tom Nerney, CEO of USLI and Cabrini alumnus, recently visited campus to promote the Nerney Leadership Institute at the first Executive in Residence. Let's check in and learn more about what the Institute has to offer.
So what we're trying to do with the Nerney Leadership Institute is to bring to Cabrini College the opportunity for all the undergraduates to get exposed to an understanding of what we would term self-leadership. So this isn't just for an elite group. So it's a big umbrella.
So some of those that we have, part of that are we have a Master of Science in Leadership degree. We now have an undergraduate minor in Leadership Studies. We have a certificate in Leadership Studies. We have the Lead Strong program.
The goal in the next 5 years would be that we're preparing the Cabrini student just to graduate and just be a little different, a little more prepared than the graduates of other colleges.
We also have events for those students and plus the whole campus for leadership. So the Executive in Residence is one of those type of activities. We just had our first one with Mr. Nerney last Thursday on October 24th. And the point of the Executive in Residence is to get some of these high-level executives to campus, and they can be, for a for-profit company, a not-for-profit company, a government agency, any different type of organization, and to come and really meet with the students and the staff and the faculty and share their leadership.
And again, our emphasis here is that it's not so much if anyone is following you, that you're leading and there's 8 people behind you. It's more about what are you doing? How are you conducting yourself? And I think every individual has the opportunity to be influencing others, and they have that opportunity by being present, by really seeing the significance of what they do. And that's the mindset change that I was talking about. If we can bring that out to the graduates as they leave Cabrini, I think bringing that into the workforce or bringing that into their lives, I think will make a difference.
That was your trip around the block. So Kevin, what's new with sports at Cabrini this week?
Well, the playoffs are underway for Cabrini's fall sports teams, so let's see how they're doing. With the CSAC playoffs in full swing, 3 teams are awaiting their first action of the playoffs. Women's soccer and field hockey host semifinal games on Wednesday, while the volleyball team hosts a semifinal match on Thursday. The men's soccer team advanced to the semifinals on Tuesday with a 5-0 win over Keystone College. They will travel to face Centenary College on Thursday. Should all 4 teams advance, the CSAC finals will be on Saturday. Nick Foles returned to the starting lineup and delivered a record-setting performance in the Eagles' 49-20 rout of the Oakland Raiders on Sunday. Foles threw 7 touchdown passes, tying an NFL record, but was the first to do it in the first 3 quarters of play and in the fewest number of passing attempts, with just 28. Foles and the Eagles return on Sunday when they face the Green Bay Packers. The Sixers have taken the NBA world by storm, winning their first 3 games, including a pair against top NBA contenders, the Miami Heat and Chicago Bulls. Despite losing on Monday to the Golden State Warriors, they are off to a 3-1 start. Leading the way is rookie Michael Carter-Williams, who averaged 20.7 points per game and became just the 2nd player in NBA history to be named Player of the Week in his first week in the league. Another disappointing result for the Flyers turned into their version of slapshot as the Washington Capitals rolled to a 7-0 win on Friday. The game featured a full-on line brawl that saw goalie Wright Emery charge down the ice to fight opposing netminder Braden Holtby. Despite getting a win against New Jersey on Saturday, the Flyers dropped the Tuesday night game in overtime against the Carolina Hurricanes. The women's basketball team has been working hard to get ready for their season. Let's check in with Coach Kate Pearson and some of the seniors to see how they think their last season is going to go.
Our preseason has been going really well. All the girls have been working really hard, really since day one they got on campus. They were in the gym working out, doing pool workouts, lifting, running, doing everything that they needed to do prepared. And really our upperclassmen have been leading the charge in the beginning of the season, which was expected. We have key returners. 3 of our seniors have been starting since they were freshmen, in Brittany Sandone, Annie Rotuso, and Colleen Stewart. And they've been leading it, from both on and off the court.
I think I'm looking forward to most for my senior year is just playing with my team. We have a great team this year. Everyone's great. We're all friends. It's just going to be a fun time together, and I'm looking forward to hopefully making it further to the NCAA tournament.
I think I'm most excited just about being more successful than we were last year. So we made it to the tournament, but taking it to the next step, that's probably the biggest goal that I have for this year.
Definitely looking forward to, getting back to where we were last year. We returned a huge core from our team, and we were really close last year, and just looking forward to building off everything that we did and, hoping to excel and go further into NCAAs.
We actually open our conference schedule this year with Gwinnett Mercy, which is the first time, I think, since I've been the head coach that has happened. And Gwinnett is our biggest rival naturally, and part of it is because they've been kind of the top dog in the league. Last year we beat them in the championship, so it'll be a really good test to have them first. And just our first couple games leading up to Gwinnett are all going to be tough competition. So we open up at Swarthmore College, where we went to the tournament last year and finished in second place. Then we open with Connecticut College this year. Then we'll host Scranton and Widener in early November or late November. And both those teams are NCAA teams. So we'll be tested early, and I think the girls will be ready to rise to the challenge.
I'm definitely looking forward to playing Gwinnett Mercy this year. They're our biggest rival, I think, probably because we played them last year in the championship, and we did beat them. But I think there's a lot of hard feelings there, but it's always fun to play them, and we always give it our all. So I'm excited to play them again.
It's definitely awesome to have all 4 of us be captains together, because we've worked so hard from freshman year. We really did start off, not the way we were hoping freshman year, and coming together, all 4 of us sticking through it and being able to lead our team and having them look up to us is a huge honor. It's a little bittersweet because it is our last year, but we're looking forward to pulling it out together and making it a great last season.
It's an exciting role, but it's also, there's a lot of pressure on you, but it feels good that you're able to give back and the program, so you're able to pass on what you know to the underclassmen.
It's pretty bittersweet. I still don't believe that I'm a senior yet, and then being selected captain was a pretty big honor that I'm very proud of. And I know with the 4 seniors and myself, we made it through a couple long years together, and it's going to be tough, but we're excited to play together and finish it out.
Tune in next week to see how Cabrini fared in the CSAC playoffs, as well as an update on the Eagles, Flyers, and Sixers. Now here's Sarah with your trip across the nation.
A Transportation Security Administration officer was shot and killed Friday at the Los Angeles, California airport by a lone gunman. The officer was specifically targeted by the shooter. The gunman continued to walk through the Terminal 3 of the airport, specifically looking for TSA officers. According to ABC News, the shooter's roommate, who had no idea of the gunman's plans, dropped him off at the airport. The details of his motive are still unfolding. It has been over a year since Superstorm Sandy hit the East Coast, and many Coney Island residents are still unable to return to their homes. After Sandy, it only took 5 months for the amusement park to be reopened, but residents only a couple blocks away are just starting to receive help. According to CBS News, many residents are angry that it has taken so long for them to receive help. Let's take a look at how Brooklyn, New York, and the surrounding areas were affected by the storm.
In Brooklyn, A lot of the times if you live near water, all this stuff is really bad. So I live right next to a place called Caesars Bay. It's a big, like right by the Verrazano Bridge.
Morning that Hurricane Sandy hit, about 7 o'clock, it was kind of a last-minute decision to evacuate our house. So I wasn't there, but my mom and my stepdad kind of packed up as much as they thought they would need.
This girl in our school, her mom died actually from the hurricane. Her and her dad were outside. There was a piece of concrete blocking all of the water rushing by, and all of a sudden just broke. And she just had glass, her arm was just sliced open. The husband tried to help her, and the whole family just pretty much watched her like bleed to death, and the ambulances couldn't get to her.
We cleaned everything up. The following week I kind of checked with the insurance company to see what was covered, and we found out that nothing really that got damaged was covered, which was okay because, like I said, you know, it was good not to have any damage inside the house.
Hurricane Sandy was one of the most destructive hurricanes in the 2012 Atlantic hurricane season. In the United States, Hurricane Sandy affected 24 states. The hurricane forced the release over 10 billion gallons of raw sewage. 94% of that raw sewage went into the water in and around New York and New Jersey.
It was about 2 days later, my stepdad drove down to our neighborhood and it was blocked off by police. And they said that we weren't going to be allowed in for a couple of days. So he actually snuck into our neighborhood walking, and there were boats everywhere in the streets, like up against trees. There's just stuff everywhere. She basically rebuilt the whole house by herself when she bought it. And I lost everything that I had. It could have been worse because the house is still there, at least we thought. And then in about January, after we'd already redone the floor, ordered custom cabinets for the kitchen, replaced all of the appliances, we found out that we're actually gonna have to tear down the house.
You know, all the things that did get beat up, we had to just, you know, either fix ourselves or repair ourselves or pay for. So we're in the process of getting everything back to shape and going from there.
My mom actually went online and got phone numbers, got just any information that she could for whatever help was out there, and she immediately searched for FEMA to get 3 months rent and a stipend of money for any of our immediate needs, whether it was toiletries or clothes. It was really helpful and a little bit of a weight lifted that we didn't have to think about any of that stuff right away. Even though some things have gone smoothly, a lot of things haven't, and we still have a lot of rebuilding to do and kind of a lot of starting over to do.
Back in September, a San Francisco State University student was shot and killed in the back while he was riding a train. According to CNN, the security footage showed the gunman had the gun in his hand. He waved it around and wiped his nose with it. No one noticed because they were too busy on their smartphones. This is just one tragedy that could have been avoided if people weren't so consumed in their smartphones and would pay attention to what was going on around them. Cabrini Day is November 12th, and we had a chance to sit down with Dawn Francis to get a preview of what is expected this year.
We're really excited about Cabrini Day this year. I'm particularly really excited about partnering with Dr. Pawlowski about talking about issues of leadership and how we can all work together in order to enact change in our communities. So what's new about Cabrini Day this year is that we have a full day of alternate educational programming prepared from 8:30 in the morning all the way to 8 at night.
For Cabrini Day, I'm presenting for my ECG 300, which is post-Northern Ireland conflict. And we're presenting a poster on Pat Finucane, who was a citizen of Northern Ireland who was murdered in front of his family at the dining room table. And it's all a result of the conflict that goes on over there between the Catholics and Protestants. And I'm excited to present our poster to show the people of America what's happened over there and all the injustice that's gone on, and to bring awareness.
And we have a really awesome mission scavenger hunt planned where you can come together and find items throughout the campus that reflect our mission, both our focus on academic leadership, our commitment to social justice, and leadership development. We've given out our Cabrini Day buttons to everybody to let them know about the day and to encourage participation in that Lead for Change event because we think it's so important. Also with that event, anybody who comes to that event gets to vote on their top 3 presentations. And then at 6:30 we have the author, who is our keynote speaker, Ibu Patel, who also wrote Acts of Faith. And so we have Ibu talking about his book, which was the freshman reading. And he'll do that, and he'll have a book signing, and that'll conclude the day. That'll be from 6:30 to 8. You can follow us on Twitter at Cabrini Day. So I have a whole marketing communication plan that's being put into place and has been put into place over the last couple of weeks to promote it. So we're really serious about doing it right and getting a lot of involvement this year.
And that was your trip across the nation. So Val, what's going on in entertainment this week?
Well, there's some exciting news for X-Men fans, so let's take a look. On Monday, November 4th, Miami Heat player Chris Bosh and wife Adrienne welcomed a new addition to the family. The first picture of the newborn baby girl, Dylan Sky Bosh, was shared via Instagram just hours after Adrienne giving birth. Chris also expressed his excitement via Twitter. Looks like the Bosh family is creating a basketball team of their own. Hugh Jackman is returning for another Wolverine sequel. The new flick marks the 8th time the 45-year-old actor is sinking his claws into the part that launched him to stardom. Wolverine's next adventure, X-Men Days of Future Past, will hit theaters May 23, 2014. Calling all gladiators. It's about that time we meet Olivia Pope's late mother. Her mother will be played by actress Candy Alexander. Scandal fans know very little about Olivia's mother, but with these upcoming flashbacks, all the pieces to the puzzle will be filled. Make sure to tune in tomorrow on ABC at 10 p.m. The Mr. and Mrs. Cabrini pageant is just around the corner. Dan Lunar met with a couple of contestants to talk about the pageant.
Hey everybody, the Mr. and Miss Cabrini pageant is coming up in 3 weeks. Let's see what some of the contestants are bringing to the competition.
Some of my responsibilities as coordinator of the pageant means that I have to make sure everything runs smoothly to the night of and during the event itself. What I'm most excited for is the host, Preston Pugmire. He's music, and he does all the background music like drums, bass, everything with his voice itself, and he loops it into his songs.
What I'm most excited for about the pageant is the fact that the talent competition part, because since I was nominated by the Poetry Club, I'm hoping to do something that people aren't really used to, and maybe they'll enjoy it more than just a singing or a dancing or a magic act, or I don't know. I just feel like there's something special about poetry.
I think I'm most excited for seeing everybody's talent, because I've always loved people's talents, and that's probably the best thing about people, so I'm excited to see everyone show them off more than anything.
Well, for the Cabrini pageant, Mr. and Mrs. Cabrini pageant, my foremost concern is that everyone there has a good time.
I'm hoping to mix poetry with singing, so I might intersperse well-known songs within a poem that I've written. I haven't decided completely yet, but that's what I'm going for.
I feel I should be Mr. Cabrini for the simple fact that since my freshman year, I feel like I've grown from an introvert to an extrovert. So like between as much, I feel like I've evolved more than anything, and I feel like that's what Mr. Cabrini should be. It shouldn't be a popularity contest. It should be somebody who like demonstrates that they've changed dramatically through the years.
My talent is somewhat of a surprise, but it does involve the song, What Does the Fox Say? Well, I think what I want Cabrini to know foremost is that I love them, and I hope they feel as though they can approach me in everyday life and better themselves and better me.
Come see me compete for Mrs. Cabrini.
Come see me compete for Mr. Cabrini.
Come see me compete for Mr. Cabrini.
Doors open 7:30, event starts at 8 o'clock, and it will be November 13th in Grace Hall.
I'm Dan Lunar, on location, for location. Now back to the news desk.
That was your weekly entertainment update. Now let's check in with Nicole for your news around the world.
A series of timed explosions during the morning rush hour leave 1 dead and 8 injured outside the headquarters of the Communist Party in China. The explosions began at 7:40 a.m., according to the local police. The bombs, while small, were not unsophisticated. Police investigators said that they had found computer circuit boards among the debris, perhaps part of a timer system. The bombs appear to be confirmation that the street protests across China have now hardened into more drastic and destructive action. Efforts to forge lasting peace between Israelis and Palestinians apparently suffered more setbacks Wednesday, even as U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry was in the Middle East trying to help mend relations. Kerry met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in Jerusalem, where the top U.S. diplomat acknowledged both sides of the strife. After his stop in Jerusalem, Kerry traveled to Bethlehem and announced an additional $75 million in aid for the Palestinian Authority's high-impact micro-infrastructure initiative, the U.S. State Department said. That brings the total U.S. contribution to $100 million. India has launched a rocket in hopes that it will allow to join an elite group of space explorers to Mars. The country's space research organization, ISRO, launched its orbiter to the Red Planet on Tuesday. Only NASA, the former Soviet Union, and the Europeans have previously been successful in operating probes from Mars. It will take 10 months for India's Mars orbiter mission to reach the Red Planet after lifting off. The probe will explore the planet's surface features, minerals, and atmosphere. Thanks for catching up with us this week. For LOQation Weekly News, I'm Nicole Capizzi.
And I'm Sarah Zarnomsky. Make sure you stay up to date with us throughout the week by following our social media platforms. Simply search LOQation News. Have a wonderful week, Cabrini.